Hi, this is Hope Ann Gregory, and you're watching Bay Area HQ. Go see the Bronze on March 18th, mother.
What do you like most about the San Francisco Bay Area?
I love this part of California so much. Last summer, I actually spent time not too far from here over in Half Moon Bay. My husband and I like to go there to write, so we holed up there for about 3 weeks working on a script, and then we would take day trips to San Francisco and get some good food, get some good Chinese food. I love the energy here. I love walking around, and it's one of my favorite places to come since we've moved to California.
That's great. We don't get a lot of Half Moon Bay references, but I mean, it's all Half Moon.
The Bay! Is that a thing? No?
Yeah. Well, your husband, of course, you mentioned him, was Winston Rauch, and your name is Melissa Rauch. So has there been you ever been called Melinston?
No, that's the first time. You're teaching me all these great things. I like that, Melinston. Yeah, that's going to be the new name that we rock.
And the reason why we're talking about this is because you guys kind of made this movie and co-wrote this movie, The Bronze.
So we've been writing together actually longer than we were actually together as a couple. We met in college, and we were writing partners all through college. And then we started writing a one-woman show for myself years ago, and now this is our first produced feature film together. We're so excited. We got the idea from it years ago. I started to have like a little bit of success in the TV world on like this VH1 talking head show years ago, and we went back to my small town in New Jersey, and at the mall, the manager at the mall recognized me and gave me a free pretzel, and I was so excited that I got a Wetzel's pretzel. And then the show was canceled, and I went back to this same small town, and the manager at the place pretended like he didn't know me and didn't give me a Wetzel's pretzel, and I was very, very upset. And then it started making us think about celebrity in the small town and what that could do to a psyche, and then this idea was sort of birthed out of that.
And then your dad is played by Gary Cole, who I love from Office Space.
Yeah, Gary is amazing. He's such an incredible actor. We met years ago, one of my very first jobs in Los Angeles. Gary actually played my boss on this show that never aired. So when we were writing the script, we had Gary in mind for it, and we were so thrilled that he agreed to do it. He plays my very doting, enabling father, and we have a very messed up relationship. I was going to use the F word, and I held myself back. I can't say that right.
We could beep. We're going to be beeping all day in this interview, so knock yourself out.
Okay, we have a very relationship, and Gary played it just to perfection.
I kind of had deja vu, Hope Gregory deja vu from your spot in I Love You Man, because she was dropping.
Wow, thank you.
She says, I just stepped in your dog's crap, you.
That's so crazy. I can't believe no one has brought that up. Yeah, I had a very small part in I Love You Man. It was one of my first movie roles ever. And yeah, that was channeling a bit of hope then. It was a seed of hope.
Absolutely, and that's what makes it so funny. And talk about the '90s, right? Because the Tanya Harding incident was in the '90s, and your character plays like this Olympian. Was there a connection there?
There's really not a direct connection. It's sort of this fictionalized version, but my bangs in the movie, Hope in the movie rocks the bangs that she wore when she won her bronze medal, and it's sort of where she feels her most comfortable. She's living in the same warm-up sweatsuit that she wore when she got her medal, and she's unable to re-engage in this new phase of life, so she's still rocking the tight roll on her bangs, and that's definitely, I could see how that could look a lot like Tanya. It's sort of an ode to Tanya.
Cool, people get those visions. And speaking of crazy visions, what's going on with this sex scene? Everybody's raving about it. This is going to be, I remember this crazy sex scene with John Ritter. I think it was called Skin Deep, where it was glow in the dark. You got to check it out. But this is the legend. This is going to be legendary. So what's the secret to a crazy, awesome sex scene?
Well, you write what you know, which is what I did in this case. So the sex scene is something we're very proud of. When we wrote the script, we wrote the most crazy, epic gymnastic sex scene ever, and we underlined it, put it in bold with like 20 exclamation points, and then we sort of bullet pointed what those moves would look like. It was the closest I think that I'll ever get to writing a porn, because it was pretty detailed, and we had a gymnastics coordinator come in and choreograph this, what I call a ballet o sex. And we're thrilled with it. Sebastian Stan does a phenomenal job, and we have just this pretty epic sex scene that I couldn't be more proud of. I think my husband's a little upset that I can't recreate it at home. I had a body double for some of the more intense stuff.
Yeah, that would be upsetting. No, but I want to read some of the some of the Instagram shots that you put out from your Winston and you guys go back and forth because the writing is at the heart of this movie, and it doesn't just come from nowhere. I mean, this is kind of who you are. So I think he writes, "I was saving that avocado." And you said, well, I was saving myself for marriage, but sometimes plans get derailed. He said, fair, but your virginity wouldn't make a delicious guacamole.
That did happen. He was very upset that I ate his avocado. Those texts like that often happen, and he really has no qualms about taking my virginity and comparing it to guacamole.
Big Bang Theory, you play Bernadette, of course. How do you think Big Bang Theory audiences are going to love this movie?
I think all Big Bang Theory fans have an awesome sense of humor, and they also like comedy with heart, and that's what this is. If you like irreverent, dark comedy and also like a story that's got a bunch of heart in it, then I definitely think you'll like this. And also, who doesn't like sex? And there's sex in the movie.
I have to, speaking of Big Bang Theory, I got to talk about your when you were Smurfette on Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
And long story short, what's this? You had to take that makeup off. It took forever, right? And I guess there was a
researched.
I guess there was a. But that's a funny story. Why don't you just share with us?
Okay, so for one of the Halloween episodes of Big Bang, they painted my whole body in blue makeup, and it took longer to get the makeup off than to actually put it on. And so I was sitting in this makeup chair. They brought in a couple people actually to get it off of me, and I have really sensitive skin, so they were like packing my skin in all these like wet hot towels, and they're like trying to get it off. And I was in this bodysuit that was sort of like this whole onesie set up, and I had put my legs up sort of like spread eagle-like almost onto the makeup counter, and I closed my eyes and like sort of put my head back while they were like scrubbing this off, and I heard one of the makeup artists just go, ah! At one point. I was like, oh, that's weird, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then I opened my eyes and I look in the mirror and I was like, what is that? And then I realized that the bodysuit had this hole in the crotch, and I was like looking into my womanhood in the mirror, and so the makeup artist had the little yelp that he let out was because he was also seeing what I saw so horrifically in front of me, and so I apologized and closed my legs and let them finish taking off my makeup, and then just walked out with my head between my legs, no pun intended.
Well, you're not going to get to see all that in this movie, but
you'll see.
But we're going to get to see close in that crazy sex.
You'll
scene.
actually see quite a bit.
Talk about your comedy a little bit and what your sense of humor is like, and how films kind of affected that you watched when you were young.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've always just loved dark comedies, movies like Election, Bad Santa. I also I'm a huge Bette Davis fan, so movies like All About Eve and showing these layered, raw female characters that aren't afraid to be unlikable or tough. That's something that I've always been drawn to, and I'm really thrilled that we had the chance to do that with this movie. It's sort of a big mishmash of all the inspirations that we love so much.
All right, well, there's another comedy movie. We have a special gift for you, Melissa. There's another comedy movie that we know you love, and we got this special gift just came in. It is a doll from one of your favorite movies.
No way! That's amazing, Harry! That's so exciting. Well, this is absolutely incredible. I am so excited. I mean, and we're about the same size too, which is really exciting.
Only one person would get excited about a Harry and the Hendersons doll, and I'm talking to her.
I honestly think there are two. I know Winston's going to be my husband's going to be so excited. I've seen this movie so many times. I posted on Instagram. You guys must have seen that, right? The Harry and the Hendersons DVD. This is very exciting. He's so sweet. Look at him. Look at those eyes.
You two make a good couple with Winston.
Those eyes, thanks. Well, forget it. I mean, I'm done now. I don't, my husband has to look out because I got Harry.
All right, well, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure talking to you. We're all going to watch The Bronze. It's such a funny movie, and I'd love to see more.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for all your support. This movie has been a real labor of love, and it's a dream come true that it's coming out in theaters on March 18th, so thank you.
Awesome.